Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. We are appreciative that you've joined us. Coming up, another half hour of informative features just for you. So do stay with us. I'm Adrian Atkinson and the magazine unfolds right now.
Are you a small to medium-sized tourism enterprise? Borrow up to $25 million at an interest rate of 5%. You can use the funding to develop and maintain your infrastructure, upgrade or increase your capacity, enhance and expand your attraction, tour or event, and purchase raw material. Call the Exim Bank and ask about the Tourism SMTE loan. Their numbers are 876-630-1400 or 876-618-5889. Tap into the over $3 billion earned yearly through tourism with a SMTE loan.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, November 19. Industry and Commerce State Minister Floyd Green says government has been creating the environment for the startup of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, and for the growth of established ones. Minister Green was speaking on OPM Connect on Monday in observance of Global Entrepreneurship Week.
We've done some changes recently in relation to removal of the minimum business tax, because it used to be that before you start a business in Jamaica, unfortunately, in the recent history, you would owe a tax. The government has sought it fixed to remove that tax so that you can focus your energies, forming your company, getting formalized, coming into our entities and doing business.
Minister Green says MSMEs are a vital part of government's economic growth agenda, as they form 90% of companies that pay taxes and account for approximately 80% of employment figures.
What we still think we need to do more of is, one, create a greater culture, that people are willing to take the risk to get into business. It is a risk. That people think firstly about what business they can go into instead of how they can become an employee. And that we have the support services, the hand-holding services, largely through our JBDC, to ensure that when they want to get into business, the government is there to guide them along that process.
The Ministry of Transport and Mining is reporting that approximately 90 exploratory licenses have been approved for semi-precious minerals such as cobalt, copper, gold, silver and zinc since March 2018. Portfolio Minister Robert Montego says most of the prospecting mining firms are Jamaican-owned companies, which will allow the profits to stay in the country.
When we hear about mining, people normally just think of bauxite. And they don't remember that we have gold in Jamaica, we have copper, and we have tin. And right now, almost every square inch of Jamaica is under a prospecting license for some kind of mineral. We have never had so much activity in the mining sector as ever before as the time we're having now.
The minister was speaking recently at a corporate governance seminar. He gave the assurance that government was encouraging and facilitating the sustainable exploitation of minerals. Adolescent fathers and teenage boys are to benefit from the launch of 2 new programs. The announcement was made by Gender Minister Olivia Grange in her message to mark International Men's Day. It's being observed today under the theme, Building Strong Men Through Health and Wellness, Balance the Ting.
I'm pleased to announce the start of 2 new initiatives. The Mentor Me 2020, which will see outstanding men helping high school boys to become outstanding and balanced men of the future. And the Young Fathers Jamaica initiative, which will assist adolescent fathers to become outstanding dads.
The programs will be implemented by the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation. Minister Grange says her ministry will be leading targeted interventions across the country to address some of the health and wellness issues that men face every day. Meanwhile, speaking in her capacity as sports minister, Ms. Grange congratulated the national senior team on their qualification for the 2021 Lacrosse Women's World Cup. The women earned their place by finishing 3rd in the qualifiers on the weekend. Minister Grange says the achievement is historic for Jamaica and the Caribbean. She says it demonstrates the success of initiatives by the government for the development of sports. The Lacrosse Women's 2021 World Cup will be held from July 7 to 17 at the Towson University in Maryland, United States. And finally, civil servants have been rewarded for their stellar performance in the current fiscal year. The Jamaica Information Services Acting Director of Research, Print and Production Division, Celia Lindsay, is one of 3 persons selected as the 2019-2020 Civil Servant of the Year. She's joined by Customer Service Manager at the Administrator General's Department, Sophia Levy, and Administrative Assistant with the JDF Coast Guard, Candice Daly. The awardees received various prizes, including $150,000 for a joint community project from this year's main sponsor, First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union. The event was organized by the Civil Service Week Steering Committee in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clark says the administration remains focused on further strengthening the public sector through the recruitment of people who are technically proficient.
We are marching towards having the strongest public administration that we can imagine, with people who are technically proficient, who are sharp, who are on the top of their game. Because that is what it takes if we want Jamaica to achieve higher and higher levels of greatness. Now, to do so, or to get this, requires action on the part of civil servants, but it also requires action on the part of policy and government. And one of the things that I want to support is investing in our civil service.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the 4 corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
Next, the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister announces $1.3 billion mitigation program, breaks ground for Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, and commits to making Jamaica the place of choice for business. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Last Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the disbursal of $1.3 billion for an enhanced disaster mitigation works program. The funds will be split among members of Parliament, with each constituency receiving $15 million. Mr. Holness's work will include clearing and cleaning of drains, gullies, roadsides, gully banks, medians, and verges. Solid waste removal, cleaning, and beautification, as well as the identification and elimination of breeding sites on public and private properties, will also be undertaken.
$4 million for bushing and drain cleaning, $3 million for sanitation and beautification works, $3 million for vector control, that is the mosquito control, and $5 million for patching of potholes or minor road repairs.
The work is to start immediately and will be carried out over 3 months ending February 2020. The National Works Agency will partner with the National Solid Waste Management Authority to implement the project under the guidance of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
This is not giveaway work. We have to stress it, Mr. Speaker. This is not work where 10 people go out and 20 persons stay home and expect to collect. No, it is Christmas. But this is not only Christmas work.
Mr. Holness says the program will run concurrent with a $1 billion vector control program being undertaken by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Every single Jamaican citizen must take responsibility for ensuring that their environment, particularly the environment in their domestic space, around their homes, is free of anything that could cause mosquitoes to breed. The South Coast Highway Improvement Project is part of the government strategic development plan for unlocking growth prospects in the eastern end of the island.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he broke ground Saturday for the start of the $384 million Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Of that figure, $195 million will see to the repair of the 110-kilometer roadway between Harbourview in St. Andrew and Port Antonio in Portland. The 26-kilometer road between Morant Bay and Cedar Valley in St. Thomas will also be improved. Mr. Holness says the rest of the money, $189 million, will go towards the extension of the East-West Highway between Mapen in Clarendon and Williamsfield in Manchester.
Connectivity is key to ensuring that producers can be linked to markets, workers to jobs, students to school, and the sick to hospitals. Reducing the distance between people, markets, services, and knowledge.
The project will be executed by China Harbour Engineering Company and subcontracted to local companies. Earlier in the week, the Prime Minister was in Montego Bay sharing investment opportunities with the business community. He was addressing Thursday's Caribbean Hotel Investment Conference and Operations Summit. Mr. Holness said efforts were being made to improve trade facilitation on the island. They include the introduction of the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, the maintenance of a stable political climate, boosting climate resilience, and the tabling of a new customs bill.
We are presently redoubling our efforts to ensure that just as how we have conquered the sprints, and Usain Bolt is the fastest man in history in the sprint, Jamaica must become the Usain Bolt of small developing economies when it comes to the ease of doing business and the facilitation of business.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Pernell Charles Jr., was also in Western Jamaica this past week. On Thursday, he was in Green Island, Hanover, to hand over 374 housing solutions at Phase 1 of the Winchester Estate. The 1,003 units are starting at $4.99 million. Minister Charles Jr. urged more Jamaicans to take up the housing opportunities offered by government and called for greater partnership with developers.
Utilize the measures that have been put in place by this government that make it easier for you to contend with taking the risk in starting your developments here in Jamaica. The guaranteed purchase programs, the assistance in terms of the greater partnership in ensuring that your development is successful, and in working together to satisfy the huge demand for housing in our country.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Motor vehicle repairs can be tricky as well as challenging. Tire changing too can take some muscle work. We don't want you to lose a nail or a finger in the process. So here are a few tips on tire care and changing.
I have absolutely no idea what this is or what it's even used for. But today on Autospot, I'm going to be learning all about tires, and who knows, I might even end up changing one myself.
A tire is a ring-shaped component that surrounds the rim, which helps to cushion the road feel and offer traction and stability of the vehicle. You have all-purpose tires, which can use in all terrain. You have wet tires. For wet tires, it's for like wet road condition. You can't use a dry tire in the wet season. You get slippage. For the tire to be completely functional, you need the rim, you need air to be inflated in the tire to get it to the correct air pressure so that it's suitable for road condition. A cold tire is when the temperature inside the tire is reduced to like normal road temperature. At that time is the correct time to check the air pressure within the tire to give you an accurate reading. For the hot tires now is when you're driving on the road for a long duration of time and the heat inside the tire builds up and increase the pressure inside the tire. Tire inflation is the pressure inside the tire, which can be in kilopascal, bars, or PSI. There's an instrument called the tire pressure gauge, which I have here with me. You use to take the tire pressure. I can demonstrate for you. First, we'll have to remove the dust cap from off the tire. Place the tire pressure gauge on the tire valve, and it automatically push out the tire pressure gauge and give you the correct reading.
The driver still needs to play a big role in the safety of the vehicle on the road. Now, we see a lot of vehicles coming into our premises at our body shop, and we see a lot of accidents that could have been easily prevented. People texting, people not paying due care and attention when they're on the road. Now, Jamaica had over 370 odd deaths last year on the road. There's a big target to get it under 300 this year, and that can easily be achievable if people just pay a bit more care and attention when they're driving on the road.
The tyre normally has a manufacture date on the side. From that date in which the tyre was produced, you can know when the tyre needs to be changed. Within 4 to 6 years of the manufacture date, the tyre is due for replacement.
But what if I'm on the road and I have a flat tire? What do I do?
Okay. The first step is to park the vehicle in a secure location, flat surface. Pull up the emergency handbrake, ensure that the vehicle don't run back or anything. Then you gather your tools, including a jack, lug tool for the job. Alright. Here you have the lug. You're gonna place the lug tool on that, ensure that the correct lug tool is fit perfectly, and you push it down in the anti-clockwise position.
Okay.
And you do that for all 5 lugs.
Okay, and it's usually 5 lugs?
No, some vehicles carry 4, some carry 5, some carry 6. But for this application, it's 5.
Okay. So what else do you do after that?
After you remove the lugs, you remove the complete wheel and you have it all for yourself. Then you go for your spare and place it back on here and screw on back. You tighten back your lugs.
Alright, so this is what you use to tighten it back?
Yeah, this is the lug tool.
So you're going in the other direction?
Yeah, clockwise. Turning. And you always tighten diagonal. Right, you tighten in the clockwise direction.
So which one? Which one you tighten first?
It can be anyone, but you have to tighten in diagonal. This, then this, and this. Yeah. Cross and cross. So the tire go on, the wheel go on even. And then let down the vehicle, and then you finally torque the lugs to make sure that they are correctly tight.
Where do we usually find the spare tires?
And depending on the vehicle type, sometimes the spare is under the vehicle, and the back of the trunk, or inside the trunk.
So it's not as simple as it seems, but it's clearly doable. It's all in a day's work, well, at least for a newbie like me. But really it should take about 10 to 15 minutes to change. I can promise you there's so much value in learning to get the job done. I certainly feel accomplished.
Brand awareness is top priority for the team here at the Jamaica Information Service, which is why we continue to host JIS Day, where we highlight the offerings of the company and different stakeholders. This year we visited Ocherius in St. Anne. Check out the highlights.
Help me big up Jamaica, the land of wood and water. This system might not proper, but we love it by food and we culture. A nice place to live. Sweet jam done. The only problem is dollars not run. What a nice place to live. Sweet jam done. The only problem is dollars not run.
You can come up here and tell me what JIS, the acronym JIS, what does it mean? You get a prize. Come quick, fast, and furious. Come on, quick.
Jamaica Information Service.
Wonderful, clapper. Go over the JIS booth and give you a prize.
Ocherius St. Anne came alive recently when the Jamaica Information Service team checked in for the third staging of JIS Day. The event, which was spearheaded by the Jamaica Information Service Montego Bay Regional Office, highlighted the agency's products and services as well as the offerings of other government entities. It was a day filled with activities that catered to the whole man. Students, teachers, community members all came out to enjoy and participate in the activities. Residents lined up to receive free blood sugar and blood pressure tests, which was administered by the Ministry of Health. Local artists also passed through, adding that extra flavor to the day's activities.
JIS Day was originally conceptualized to bring about brand awareness, but we also thought that it was necessary for us to engage with different stakeholders, being that our mandate is really to promote the policies and the programs of the government. And so in our second year, which was in Falmouth, we decided to include the different stakeholders, and since then we have been partnering with the different stakeholders, the different government agencies, to bring the information of the government to the people of the different towns. This year we came to Ocherius, the best by far. The support from the residents of Ocherius was great, it was tremendous. The stakeholders too, they turned out, we had over 7 stakeholders.
Kevin Clark, General Manager for the Sandals Ochi Beach Resort, a major sponsor for the event, was pleased to sponsor JIS Day as the agency is considered a valued partner of the resort chain.
Well, we're part of Jamaica, right? The Jamaica Information Service, it goes without saying, yeah? We're part of the community, it's really grassroots, and we're there for you, for full support.
One initiative such as this today, I really do appreciate, because it helps us to reach out to the wider community, to, to build awareness among people. Now, at the National Solid Waste Management Authority, we are pushing forward. One of our main initiatives that we want to see is waste reduction, not only in Ocherius or the region, but in Jamaica. So of course, I'm pushing for composting. We're encouraging business people. We're encouraging residents. Of course, managing your garbage starts at the source. And if we start within our home, within our business places will see a vast difference.
The Social Development Commission was also on hand, informing the citizens about their projects, which are geared towards community development.
We have over 700 communities that we service through our different programmatic themes. Currently we have 7 programs, and through these programs we aim at achieving several different things, but with the main aim of establishing community development committees so that the governance structure can be strengthened through the community-based organizations that exist in our communities.
The highlight of the day's activities was most definitely the talented students from St. Anne who came out and dazzled the crowd with their performances.
I'm hungry, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry till I'm hungry, yes, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, pretty nice, yeah, my from me, I'm hungry.
Jamaica, Jamaica, I feel with island. God bless me with talented man and woman. Check out the culture. Are the best, no other country can test. Uno come help me big up my island. We culture rich. So is we tradition. Jamaica is the place I called my homeland.
I want to thank the stakeholders and the schools that participated. As I said, they were out in their numbers and the day would not have been a success without them. So again, we're so grateful. We want to big up the freelancers that passed through. The day would not have been what it was without them. We had persons DJing, persons singing, and it really just brought the day together. So we're really grateful.
And there are plans to make next year's staging an even better showcase.
Next year is definitely going to be bigger and better. As I said, this has been the best staging by far. So of course, we're going to have to top that.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep we
eat.
island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
We've come to the end of the show. Catch us again tomorrow on this station. Here's a reminder to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm. You may also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Twitter. On behalf of the entire production team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.